Starting in early August, 21 contestants visited Total Domain Island for the chance to win a $25 gift card. First, let's meet our contestants. Richard D. Doug.
Hey Domainers, it's your boy Doug, coming at you with my Total Drama recap.
Bungalow, Triptych, Rocky, Melts, Wesley, Harry.
My name is Harry. Yeah, I can't wait for this thing. Hopefully it should turn out fun. Or even if it's not fun, hopefully I win so I can get the money.
Mike Box and domain game battles on Team Flying Squirrels. On Team Blue Barracudas we had Lucas, Bobbert, Creepman, Dizzy Dylan, Ponji Ninja, Brief, Bubby, The Mad Killer, Curious Steve, and Horizon 89. Each day, the losing team must go to the Dock of Shame and vote one of their own off until the teams finally merge. For the first challenge, the teams had to go to the counting channel and get to the highest number they could without messing up. After a strong start by the Flying Squirrels, they fell apart, and the Blue Barracudas were able to take it slow and steady and get their first win. With the first vote, Mike Box was voted to be kicked off the island, leaving 10 people on the Flying Squirrels. With the next challenges, the Blue Barracudas voted out the inactive Mad Killer, and following him, the Flying Squirrels voted out Melts after a loss in trivia. It was becoming clear that Doug, Bungalow, and Richard D were the leaders of the Flying Squirrels, having an alliance and using it to get rid of the people in the Dock of Shame, one at a time.
At the start of this legendary competition, I was a part of the Flying Squirrels, and was aligned with Bungalow and Richard. Together, we systematically eliminated most of our competition, and also spread false information to create suspicion among the majority. Using our 3 votes to pick people off, we were unstoppable.
This became even more apparent when Triptych got voted after the Home Run Derby. Nothing too interesting happened with Rocky in 16th, Domain Game Battles in 15th, Desi Dylan in 14th, and Horizon in 13th. Once we were down to the final 12, that's where things took a turn. The Flying Squirrels had half their team part of the alliance that consisted of Doug, Bungalow, and Richard D, so it would take a lot for the remaining Wesley, Curious Steve, and Harry to make it to the merger in a couple rounds. They needed to take action. Steve took action by getting both Wesley and Harry to vote for Bungalow, which led to a tie between Wesley and him. They started off with a scavenger hunt and tied, and it came down to trivia. First to 3 questions won. That person turned out to be Bungalow. Now down to 11, there would be one more round before the merger. The challenge was greed. A message was put out saying the first person to respond wins immunity, but sends their team to the Dock of Shame. If no one responds, then both teams go to the Dock of Shame. Surprisingly, no one did respond, so both teams went to the Dock of Shame, and the Blue Barracudas voted out Ponji Ninja, while it wasn't as simple for the Squirrels. Steve was voted out, but had one of the 3 immunity totems, so it went to the person with the second most amount of votes, Bungalow. While it looked like it was it for Bungalow, Richard used his totem to save Bungalow. Since no one else had votes, everyone else on the Squirrels was safe. Now there were 10 people left and the teams were gone. The remaining people were Curious Steve, Bubby, Lucas, Brief, Bobbert, Creep, Doug, Bungalow, Richard D, and Harry. The first post-merger challenge was Kahoot. Curious Steve won immunity, and Brief ended up getting voted off. Now only 9 remain, and the next challenge was Guess the Number. A random number between 1 and 1,000 was selected, and each person had to submit a guess. Doug won immunity, and Harry got voted off.
Okay, so I just got eliminated. That's kind of disappointing, I thought I would have lasted a bit longer than this, but, apparently there's like a second way of coming back, but I'm not entirely sure if I can win at that, I'm gonna have to start practicing Kahoots, just in case, if that's how I should try to get back, because Kahoot was my downfall here, so hopefully I should try to win next time.
Before the next challenge, one eliminated contestant would have a chance to come back. The winner of a Kahoot game would be that person. Harry ended up winning and came back after not missing a single challenge after being voted off.
I knew the Kahoot practice would pay off. I was eliminated for literally 1 day and came back the next. It was pretty lucky that only 3 people showed up to the actual event, so I got pretty lucky with that. And it was Melts, and I think it was Triptych, so, I'm pretty sure I was the best option there. It's no offense to those guys.
9 people still remained, and now Harry was back. The next challenge was the following, and I quote, "Today's challenge is the following. Here is an example of what you must do with those words. Here is an example. Domain. You have to spell it with more letters and have it pronounced the same way in Google Translate. So if you spelled it something like DHOEMAYNE, and it was still pronounced the same way, you would get 9 points, 1 for each letter. The 5 words you will be doing are computer, binder, escalator, cabinet, and persuasive. Whoever has the most total points wins immunity. Also, if you have the exact same spelling as a word as someone, then it cancels out and neither person gets a point. You have until 7:30 p.m. to submit the words to me in a DM. After it was all said and done and the voting concluded, it was a tie between Lucas and Bob. Lucas actually tried to get voted off in the first few days, thinking he wouldn't have enough time to participate, but gave up on it after a few tries. It was now in the final 9. Bob ended up losing and Lucas was safe for now. With only 8 people left, it was time for a Discord ping pong tournament on a Discord ping pong league. After some close games, it was down to Steve and Bubby in the finals. Bubby ended up taking the win and earning immunity, guaranteeing himself a spot in the final 7. Steve and Creepman would get the same amount of votes and there would be a tiebreaker. However, this could have been it for Steve. Had Creepman used his totem, which was the last one in the game before the tiebreaker, Steve would have been eliminated. Since he waited until after he lost in the tiebreaker, both would survive to the next round. With 8 people left, the challenge was counting partners. 4 teams of 2 would have 10 minutes to count to the highest number, but if they messed up, then they could not continue. The team of Harry and Doug won immunity, and Creepman got voted off yet ago, but this time, for good. With only 7 people remaining, Lucas, Harry, Bubby, and Steve started an alliance to counter Doug, Bunglu, and Richard D. It worked as intended, as Steve won the challenge, which was another scavenger hunt, and they worked together to vote out Bunglu. Down to the final 6. It was time for another team game. 3 teams of 2 went on an adventure through finding different hints and using them to advance to finally find the gift they needed to post in the Total Domain Island chat. The team of Harry and Lucas beat Steve and Bubby by only about a second, and they won immunity. Richard was voted off, and the only person left in the original Total Domain Alliance was Doug. However, good news for him was that voting was done. Eliminations would happen by getting rid of whoever came in last in each challenge. In the final 5, Bubby came in last in Kahoot. In the final 4, Doug came in last in a game where someone like Sports Team 6 would be said, and the first person to respond with a sports team spell with 6 letters would get a point, and the first 3 to get 15 points would move on.
There were many losses to get where we are now, but in my opinion, our biggest loss was losing Dizzy Dillon. Hashtag my son. If he wasn't on the grind at McDonald's, he probably would have won. And don't forget me, because you will see me next season for that $100 gift card!
And in the final 3, Harry lost in the final scavenger hunt.
So I just won immunity. Not that I was worried that I was going to get voted off, but I'm still pretty happy that I won it. Happy for Luke as well, because he did a lot of the work. He deserves a bit of credit for it. So good for him, good for me. You know, everyone's happy. And yeah, that challenge is pretty hard. Gotta wake up 3 a.m. for that. That's pretty hard, especially when you have a really bad sleep schedule like me. But yeah, that was fun. Hopefully I can do it again sometime. Maybe season 2, maybe season 3, maybe even season 4.
Now it was down to Curious Steve and Lucas. The first to win 3 out of 5 challenges would become the winner of Total Domain Island, and we were going to watch that part now.
Hello, I'm Super Cool Freaky Mom, and I'm today's video editor and commentator for today's challenges. The first challenge we have up is baseball. The rules go as follows. Each contestant gets 10 swings, and whoever has more home runs wins. However, if a contestant gets 2 home runs over 440 feet, they will get 2 extra home runs. Now that the rules are set, let's get into the game. First up to bat, we have Lucas. Lucas sets up his swing. He swings hard, and it's out of the park. That's 1 home run. Lucas is already 1-1. What a great start. Lucas is getting ready to swing this for hopefully a second home run, and he does it. Immaculate. How wonderful was that? Lucas is going for a 3rd swing, and he misses. And Lucas scores with a 7-9 home run ratio. Not too bad. Now, let's see how his competition can fare. Steve is now up to bat. Let's see how he can do. Steve gets ready to swing. He hits it. It's going. Oh, and it hits the wall. First hit, and Steve is not doing well. Steve gets ready for a second swing. He hits it, and it's out of the park. Steve gets ready once again, and he swings, and it's going, and it's out of here. 2-3. Steve is doing pretty good. Steve hits the ball, and it gets to the outfield. Steve is not doing well. He has to be very lucky or else he'll be out. And Steve goes for his final swing, and it hits the wall. Steve ends this round with a 3-9 ratio. Lucas is now on the leaderboard with 1 point, and the same can't be said about Steve, who comes in with 0 points. However, the game still isn't over. The next round will be Connect 4. The rules are simple. The first player to form a line with 4 circles, either going left or right, up or down, or even diagonal, wins. I don't really know how to commentate a game of Connect 4, however, we will see the post-match, so let's see who wins. After that long game of Connect 4, Lucas takes another point for himself, and Steve is dead last once again. And well, the chat was not happy at the time, as they were low-key kind of trash-talking Steve, and by low-key, I mean they were getting to him. If Steve does not win the next round, he can get eliminated and it's all over. So let's get on to the next game. For the third game, we have the word game. The rules go like this. The leader will type down a phrase such as color 5. Once his phrase is typed out, the first contestant to type down a color that also has 5 letters will get the point, and so on and so on. Well, let's see who wins this round. Towards the end of the game, things were getting neck to neck. Both Steve and Lucas had a tied score, and if Steve did not answer faster than Lucas, well, Steve was out of the race completely. So Steve really had to pull all the stops in order to make it to the next round and hopefully win. And well, Steve did it. He managed to beat out Lucas, and it's off to the next round. The next game is Image Finder. The host will say something like elephant, and the contestants have to rush to find a picture of an elephant and post it in the chat. Now this is going to be a little bit challenging for Steve, as if he loses this round, Lucas takes the win. The first to 7 points wins. Early into the game, Lucas led with a 3-0 lead, which wasn't a good start for Steve. After Steve scored a point, leading the score to be 4-2, Steve started to have technical difficulties. Instead of finding pictures online and posting them onto the chat, why not GIFs? And so, the rules now go as follows. Each contestant must find a GIF of what is being said into the chat. However, each contestant's scores still stay the same. It seems that that's all Steve needed, as he tied the score to 4-4 after the second round of it being GIFs. Towards the end, it was pretty close. Lucas led with the 6-point lead, and Steve had a 5-point lead. If Lucas got the next question correctly, then he would win total domain island. However, Steve managed to clutch it and actually beat Lucas. Now the next round will be winner take all. Let's see what it is. The final round. Yeah, I know we said that we were gonna do ping pong, but things happen, you know? So Kahoot it is. The rules are simple. Each contestant will be asked the same question. Whoever gets it right gets points. However, if they do miss a question, they get no points at all. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. With that being said, let's see how the game went. And to be honest folks, Steve didn't perform the way he should have. With the topic being game history, at the end of the Kahoot, Steve scored a 10 out of 20, which means that the first total domain island winner is Lucas. Congratulations, Lucas. Let's head on to some interviews now. The first question goes to Steve. Steve, what are your thoughts on making it this far and spending a month for your life only to lose in the last challenge? How does it feel?
Well, my thoughts on this are, it was pretty fun. I met some people, we had a good time, and I wish I could have taken the win at the end, but I don't know my video game history, so that's it.
Wonderful, Steve. Unfortunately, that did happen. However, who did you think would win at the beginning?
I think Bubby. I think YT Bubby for sure.
Yeah, Bubby did bring a lot to the table. It's a shame he was also voted out. Next question. Who did you want out the most throughout the competition? As I know that there were some rivalries and some alliances going against you, and you were voted out multiple times, but won immunity. So, who's your pick?
Well, I think I'm gonna have to say, Lucas, because he beat me, but no, I'm kidding.
Ooh.
I really don't know. I mean, whoever voted for me when I almost got out, but then, totems of undying, whatever they're called, pretty good.
If I were you, I'd also want to vote out the guy that got me out. Okay, last question. So, Steve, are you feeling any regrets during this season of Total Domain Island?
I regret not winning in Kahoot. That's what I regret. I mean, no,
It's a
not
legitimate
really.
regret.
Regret no.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I made it down here, so.
And surprise question, Steve, will you be coming back for Total Domain Action?
Yes, I will be returning for total domain action.
Awesome. Who knows, maybe you might get better at Kahoot. Now let's interview the champion of Total Domain Island. Lucas, you almost quit in the first couple days. What made you change your mind?
Now, I'd like to clarify that statement. I did not almost quit in the first couple of days. I came into this trying to get voted out immediately. And I consistently was trying to get voted out, but I never could seem to get voted out. And so then I just stuck around and decided what the heck, might as well try.
Well, thank you for clarifying that to the audience. With that being said, are you glad that you didn't get voted out in your first couple days of joining?
Yeah, I mean, I had to work a lot harder by not getting voted out the first week, thanks to the other team for losing that first challenge. I tried to sacrifice myself for Bob. He sacrificed himself while I was asleep, and I'm gonna call no fair on that. Thanks, Bob.
Your sacrifice meant a lot, as it birthed a champion. Lucas, now that you're known as the first Total Domain Island winner, did you ever think you had a chance to win in the first place?
Not the first couple of weeks when I was trying to get voted out, but after that, yeah, I thought I had a pretty fair chance to win. No one was looking my way. I could just kind of slide through the game.
And you did manage to slide past the finals. I mean, you smashed the ever-living heck out of Steve in the Kahoot. Now, champ, who did you think would win at the beginning of Total Domain Island?
Who did I think would win at the beginning? Not me. Like I said, trying to get voted out. I thought Bob was going to go, and I thought that Harry was going to make it to the end. I thought that was going to be the finale.
Now, there was conflict when you were separated into two teams. However, who did you want voted out the most once the teams emerged?
I mean, it wasn't that I really wanted anyone out. We kind of formed a plan against a few specific people. Like Richard, Doug, we knew you guys formed an alliance, so we formed one too. Pre-merge, Rocky, I was happy to see him go. I just thought he was obnoxious.
Yep.
No offense, Rocky.
Wow, that is a lot of trash talking towards Rocky. And yes, hopefully he doesn't hear this part. And Rocky, if you are listening, sorry from everyone who competed in this game. Out of everyone who got eliminated, Lucas, did you want Melts to win?
I mean, I didn't interact with Melts in any way because we were still split at that point.
Now that you've won the status of champion in Total Domain Island, will you return for Total Domain Action?
Funny you should mention that. I'm actually announcing my retirement. I'm going to go out with a 1-1. I will not be returning for the next season. 100% win rate.
Wow, okay, well, I respect your decision, and yes, you now have a 1-to-1 ratio, which means that you have a 100% win rate. Congratulations. However, you could still be defending champion. Would you return for an All-Star season?
Would I return for an All-Star season? I would be down to return for an All-Star season.
Last question before you officially retire. So, Lucas, what did you think was your best moment besides winning on Total Domain Island?
I don't know, winning Kahoot the first time felt pretty good. Not Kahoot, the word challenge. Winning that one felt pretty good.
Now, is there anything you'd like to say to the folks at home, Lucas?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that supported me. I just want to thank my mom for calling my teddy bear gay. And you guys have fun with season 2. I'm off to retirement.
Well, that's unfortunate. Once again, congrats to the season 1 winner, Lucas. We will see you in a few days for Total Domain Action. Thanks for watching.